While we're doing that, I'm going to talk to a very special young lady named Sophia. Oh, we're getting shy.
Shy.
Sofia Anderson and her mom, Catalina Anderson. Sophia is 4 years old, and this is one of those stories that, you can see your child and the smallest little thing, you're like, huh, what's that?
Mm-hmm.
And the next thing you know, it's cancer.
That's exactly it.
Explain, I know it has to do with her eye. So explain exactly what happened with Sophia and how you discovered this and how the timeline went.
So, New Year happened 2015, and we started to notice a little bruise around Sophia's right eye. And, it kind of came and went, and we thought, she's 2 years old. She's probably walking into walls or walking into the table.
I'm 46, and I still walk into walls. So it's okay.
And, at first we didn't think anything of it, and then after a week and a half, we went into the pediatrician, and he said, I don't see anything, I don't feel anything, but let's go get it checked out. So right away, Dr. Solomon, amazing pediatrician, said, go to the Hess group, the ophthalmologist here in All Children's, and we went and checked them out. They said, let's get a CT scan done, and so we went home, and we weren't happy with that. So we said, let's take her in right away. It was a Friday morning at 9 o'clock. We had just dropped Aiden off at school. And by 10:30, they had come back with a diagnosis that she had a tumor behind her right eye.
Behind her eye.
Mm-hmm. And it was potentially cancer.
And the tumor was what was causing the bruise.
That's correct. That was exactly what was causing the bruise, was the pushing down of the tumor.
That's it. That's insane to me. So the bruise is actually being caused from inside, not an outside force, but an inside force causing. I didn't even know.
Mm-hmm.
Been doing this 9 years. I had no idea that could happen.
And it usually doesn't show up that way. With neuroblastoma, she was stage 4 high risk neuroblastoma. With this cancer, it usually presents itself with a large mass tumor in the abdomen because it starts in the adrenal glands. Uh-huh. It's a nervous system cancer. And usually kids are coming in with a large tumor. Her tumor was the size of a dime in her abdomen, and it didn't show it the way it usually shows.
So let me get this straight. She had one behind her eye and one in her abdomen.
Right. And that's why it was considered a high risk stage 4, was because it had traveled to another part of her body. So she had the one in her abdomen,
Gotcha.
the one behind her eye, and then when we did further testing, she had 100% bone marrow cancer.
Jeez Louise. So you go from this one little thing behind her eyeball to the next thing, you got one in her abdomen, and then it's in her bone marrow. Mm-hmm. So how in the world did they? I mean, because if I'm not mistaken, she's cancer free now.
Yes, she is. Thank God.
Oh yes.
Yes, she is. Woo! Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
So how did they do all that?
So amazing. The doctors here were incredible.
Yeah.
Honestly and truthfully, they wrote a list, and I will never forget this. Sherry wrote a list of the things that we were supposed to do in 1 week when we first got there, and every day we checked it off and marked it off, and we got closer and closer to getting started with the chemo treatment, and it was the best way that she could have explained something so horrible to two parents that have never, ever, ever dealt with anything like this.
Yeah.
I knew of cancer because my grandmother of 65 years old died from colon cancer. That's the only other thing I knew of cancer.
Right.
So it was wonderful. She gave us this list. We went through it all, and it took a while for her cancer to go away. Usually it's easier for it to be out of your system, but it took up to September of 2015 for her cancer to go away, and it was perfect timing because that was her birthday. So she received
happy birthday.
Her happy birthday wishes that she was cancer free 2 days before. One of her doctors called and gave us the great news.
So from diagnosis, from seeing the bruise up until cancer free was a year and a half?
It was January 2015 when she got diagnosed.
Okay.
And then started all of her treatment, and then September of 2015 was when Dr. Oshrine called and said Sophia's cancer free.
So it was less than a year.
Uh-huh.
Holy wow.
Yeah.
See, that typically doesn't happen. So
Yes, she's
wow.
a miracle.
Absolutely,
honestly
she
and
is.
truthfully, the power of prayer, the power of medicine, the power of community and support and love.
Especially when once you get in the bone marrow,
it's scary. It is scary because it was in there, and that was the hardest part because everything else, because the tumors were so small, they melted away. The chemo melted it away.
That's awesome.
But it was the bone marrow. Every time we came back, it was still there.
Catching it in time.
Yep.
Probably had a lot to do with it also. Not ignoring something.
Yes. Huge, and I'm the biggest advocate of that now. With any of my girlfriends, families, do not ignore anything. That is the number one thing. And I wish that I would have taken her sooner. So I kicked myself in the butt for that. But I couldn't have done anything.
I think you're good.
I think at the time when we found it, it was already stage 4 high risk.
Wow.
So I think what we need to, as a community, as doctors, as physicians and scientists, is should we do testing when they're younger? Can we do a blood test every single time they go into
a great question.
A medical appointment, a checkup?
Do you check what do you check the white blood cell count?
Yeah, you check
their
blood cells.
While you're in there, why not do that too?
Why not do that? Or with a neuroblastoma, you can do a simple urine test.
Oh.
And that checks for the catecholamines in the urine, and that's huge. I mean, we could catch it sooner. So that's something that I would love to, speak to, do something with that so that, we're able to find it a little sooner than stage 4 high risk.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be nice. And I saw a picture of her, I'm assuming it's from last Halloween when she was out, and she didn't have any hair, but she was all trick-or-treating and look at this hair
we
now.
did. What were we dressed up as last year? Do you remember?
I think she was Supergirl.
We were the Incredibles.
Oh, yes, that's right.
My family, we all dressed up as the Incredibles. And,
she is incredible.
Yeah, she is incredible.
Awesome.
Are you going to say hi?
Sophia, you want to say hi real quick?
Yeah, I'm going to put you up to the mic. See.
It's just not happening.
No, not today.
Not today.
She's giving me today's been a difficult morning already.
Oh,
so yeah.
Well, we're going to have those days, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
All right, Catalina, thank you so much for bringing her back. And I can't wait to see her next year.
Oh, we'll be here.
All right, awesome.
Thank you.
Sophia, big round of applause for Sophia and Catalina. Woo!
Support our hospital.
That's
please,
right.
And thank you.
1-800-270-8642 is how you support this hospital. You call up and you become a monthly Miracle Maker. And like I said yesterday, the monthly Miracle Makers, it's $15 a month. You sign up for that, or by all means, you want to do a one-time donation. It doesn't matter if it's $5, $10, $20. $35,000, we'll take that. It doesn't matter. You donate anything that you want to donate, and by all means, we will take it. And up until 12 o'clock, a little over an hour, the 21 kids are on the 7 South Cancer Unit right now looking for 21 monthly Miracle Makers up until 12. And your incentive, one of those people is going to win the Ultimate Raise Experience, which I just talked about. Winner going to receive a suite for 16 friends to go to a game of your choice, 4 field passes for batting practice, plus an autographed Logan Forsythe baseball. So get on that phone number and do it. 1-800-270-8642. 1-800-270-8642. Did she want to say hi? Do you want to say hi? Do you want to try it?
What are you going to say? Whatever you want. Go. Did you hear me?
I totally heard you. Bribery.
Bribery works
Probably
sometimes.
Gonna be cookies and donuts.
What do you think?
Maybe some sort of toy.
So here we can say it together. Ready? Let's say it together. 1, 2, 3. Sophia Strong.
Yes.
Yay.
Thank you, Sophia. Thank you, everybody, for listening. And we'll be back in just a little bit live from Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital. It's Norm for US 103.5.